So let's go.
My first knowledge of the environment or saving resources began when I was 3 years old. I discovered when I was 3 years old how to open up the tank of our toilet in our suburban house in outside of New York City. And I saw a brick inside the toilet. And my father was like, "Yeah, we're displacing water, so we don't use as much water when we're flushing our toilet." And that was my first introduction to an environmental idea of conservation and limited resources. And so it's funny. I mean, that was really my little moment in my life, and that was when I was 3 or 4 years old. Ever since then, I did the typical thing. I went to high school, and then I went to college where I studied architecture, and I wasn't focusing and I wasn't specializing in off-grid building, but I was lucky because I went to the same architecture program where Mike Reynolds of Earthship Biotecture had gone 25 years before me, and it was an internship program. So I was able to intern out here in New Mexico back in 1991. I had to leave to go back and finish college. I returned immediately, and I worked for Earthship Biotecture for full time for 17 years until about 4 years ago when I really wanted to explore different options other than Earthships. But back in 2002, I got my New Mexico contractor's license. I always had side projects trying to explore different avenues, design-wise, design for people that didn't want to necessarily do an Earthship. Some people don't want Earthships, they want a straw bale. Some of you people want some other things, maybe appeal to more traditional. So I positioned myself with that, getting my contractor's license and doing, starting my own business. And but through all that, I've just always loved solar systems. I've loved water harvesting. Each house I've ever designed has contained all of those passive and active systems.
I think I'd like to know a little bit about when you came to Taos and how you got started with Mike. Like, you came out here before you built this house, and when you got this property. I'd like to know a little bit about how it started.
Well, I mean, I first came out, and I think this is what you're asking me, is I followed an ex-girlfriend out to Taos. But it was through architecture, the internship program I was in. This property that this Earthship community is built on, then I had an opportunity to buy the acre and a half I have while I was back in college doing my thesis for $50 a week for about a year. And I was offered a job here to work with Earthship Biotecture. I couldn't pass that up. Being in my young 20s, knowing I had a piece of land I could build a house on and call home base. So that was really my beginning. So Wait,
Earthship Biotecture, the offer was to pay you $50 a week?
No, I had to pay them $50 a week for the land.
Oh, I see. Okay.
But I got a job and an opportunity to buy the land, and I jumped on that. Taos County is not a cheap place to live. And so to get a piece of land for $50 a week for up to about $1,200. So I got a piece of land for an acre and a half in Taos County, in a nice part of Taos County, for $1,500. That's unheard of now. But and I knew that would be unheard of in the future. So I jumped on that and the opportunity, and the small area of the community that I live in here, as you know, is surrounded by people that worked or have worked for or still work for Mike Reynolds and Earthship Biotecture. Some have moved on and sold their homes. So I'm still here after almost 20 years. Now I have 2 kids and my wife, and we live in this home, and it's been incredible. I don't have a mortgage, and it's been a great journey. I don't know if I'd necessarily build out of pocket again.
Yeah.
But
Oh yeah.